Namaskaram friends. So in today's video, I am going to talk about important news of 23rd of May 2022. And in this video, we are dealing with five very important topics. First one is called Forest Fire. Second one is Forest Right Act. Third one is National Family Health Survey. Fourth one is Data Protection Law. And fifth one is, I think, related to inflation. So social justice issue, economic issue, political issue, environment issue, and economic issue. So these five issues are from different arena, but we understand this because these are in news, and by understanding topics in different arena, we are capable of or able to diverge our mind in different arena. And if any problem come in a holistic manner, we try to open different types and solve it. Why it is very important that all the five questions are related to different arena, because in this manner you go into that arena and solve this problem. And in this manner, if you venture into different arena, different dimension, so at a point come in your life, at that point you are capable of going in any arena and solve it, because you are a light. Everything is directly or indirectly connected with you, associated with you. That means do not try to escape any arena. Try to develop your mind on a large scale, on a such a level that your mind is venture. If your mind try to venture into any arena, venture it and solve it any problem, either it's simple or complex, either it is very, you can say, surface oriented, or it is very core oriented. So it is very important. And I must tell you, at least try to open your mind. Not You can say, if you are not trying to open in many dimensions, so at least try to open in 21 different dimensions, because it is very much needed. It is very much needed. If you diverge your mind in 21 dimension, so all other are automatically be a part of it, because our mind have 84,000 small part. We, you can say, combine in it into 84 part, and 84 part, if we also combine it into 21. Okay, so it is very much related. Try to see all dimensions at its core are same, but on surface they are different. So if we understand the surface dimension, at core everything is same, because everything is associated with you, everything associated with what is happening in the creation, and you are a part of the creation. So it is very important to dive into different enough and solve problem related to that. Okay, so now I am going to start today's lecture. So first one is forest fire. First, forest fire is, as the name suggests, fire in the forest. In forest, you know that many many organism lives, many plant, many different species of plant, animals, birds, that means different life form exist there. Many animate and inanimate objects live there. So when forest fire happen, it destroy the life form of destroy the life of many organisms, but at the same time it is also beneficial for the forest, because after that new trees emerges from the ashes. So it is good as well as it is bad. But if it is in sync with the nature, it is good. But if it is man-made, it is bad. Okay, so we understand its significance for the well-being of the forest, for the well-being of the life of a human being, and for the also the well-being of the animal creature who are living in that forest. Okay. So first one is forest fire. Forest fire season in India lasts between November to June. So in India, forest fire season is in India, not in the world. In India, forest fire season is between November to June. Okay, that means 7 months. So remember it. Several factors like temperature, precipitation, vegetation, and moisture contribute to the scale and frequency of this fire. How? Because when temperature increases, it is very likely to intensify the forest fire. When precipitation happens, it decreases the intensity. If vegetation is of a good quality, decreases. If moisture is more, then it also decreases. So these factors are associated directly or indirectly with the frequency of these fires. Third point is, according to the Forest Survey of India, nearly 36% of India's forests are prone to frequent fires. So a body called Forest Survey in India, we conducted the survey of forests. So it claimed that nearly 36% of India's forest Nearly 36% of India forests are prone to frequent fire. That means our 36% of fire are very much prone to frequent caught fire. So we take care of those forests which are come into this prone area. Okay. Now move on to the next point. Next one is higher fire incidents are reported in March, April, and May. We know that our period of frequent fire is November to June, but higher fire incidents are reported in March, April, and May. March, April. That means these 3 months. Currently, I recorded a video in March 23rd. So this season is very much in relation with the frequent forest fires due to ample availability of dry biomass, because this is a summer season. So ample availability of dry biomass, and then if any untoward incident happen, then that forest caught fire. Okay, it is called also fuel load. Following the end of winter and ongoing summer season. Following the end of the winter, in this period, winter is ended and summer season is just started. So temperature play a role, wet, you can say fuel load also play a role in this time. That's why in this time period, March, April, and May, frequent, because the cases of frequent fire happening in the forest is large. Two reason, fuel load as well as temperature. Next point is most forest fires according to experts. According to experts, most forest fires are man-made. Okay. An expert conduct a survey on it. They observe that many of the forest fires are man-made, not natural. So it is not good for the forest. Instead, we talk about if it is natural, then it is good. If it is man-made, then it is not good. Because whenever we interfere with the law of the nature, it created a havoc for our life, for plant life, for other creatures. And these man-made fires are occurred according to the expert. These fires are man-made, and its reason is changes in agriculture as well as unchecked land use pattern. They use land for the agriculture and for other activity, but time to time they do not check their patterns, land use patterns. So it plays also significant role in the forest fire and also changes in agriculture. That means at some point this crop is sow, another season that crop is sow, or in between they may barren the land or sow a crop which is very much prone to forest fire. Okay, so change in agriculture as well as unchecked land use pattern are also play a very significant role in. Now move on to the next point. Next point is forest fires are broadly categorized into 3 categories. That means forest fire are not just a forest fire happen. It categorized into 3 categories on the basis of intensity, on the basis of where it caught, on land, on surface, or on the top of the tree. So ground, surface, and ground fire. 3 types of fire: ground fire, surface fire, and ground fire. So look individually in each of these fire. So fire that burn organic material in the soil. We know that in the soil, very much organic material is present. So if soil is burning that organic material, we call it as a ground fire. And they burn slowly under vegetation, because vegetation is there, and organic material is soil is beneath the soil. So that means vegetation fire happen beneath the vegetation. That's why it is slow. Okay, it is not in open and it is not in dry. It is in the it burns the organic material in the soil and also under vegetation. So its intensity is slow, very slow. Surface fire are caused largely by burning of dry leaves, branches, and other material on the ground. So surface fire is coming to the area which burn dry leaves, branches, you can say dry branches, and other material on the ground. So on the ground, surface fire are occur on the ground and it burns the dry leaves, branches, as well as other material on the ground. Such fire spreads swiftly. Why? Because dry is leaf, branches are leaf, and other material on the ground are exposed to the, you can say, air, or exposed to the environment. So it is spread swiftly, as in the case of fire in Himachal. And these types of fire is happen in Himachal. And one recent fire happening in Himachal is like this time, surface fire. Crown fire burn quickly. Crown fire burn very quickly from one tree top to another. That means if this is a tree, and this is another tree. So in case of crown fire, they caught fire from one top of a tree to another top of a tree. Then if here fire happen, so if here fire happen, then it automatically very much quickly spread to this top of the tree and have huge flame with intensity. And has flame is very much huge, a huge flame, okay, and intensity of heat is also very huge. That means huge flame and intense heat. Very flame is huge as well as heat is very much intense, and it is spread from crown of the tree to crown of the tree. And such fire are very rare in India. These types of fire are not occurring in India. Surface fire and ground fire are very much frequent in India. Like surface fire in Himachal, we see a recent topic, recent you can say slide or point on it. But ground fire is not very much rare in India. It occurs in foreign countries mainly, in California, in USA, in Canada. These types of fire are very much frequent in western part of the world, but not in India. Okay. Now move on to another point. Apart from Himachal, Uttarakhand, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. Apart from Himachal and Uttarakhand, Assam, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tripura, Mizoram, and Odisha report frequent forest fire annually. So annually, in these states, are forest fire happen very frequently. Remember it: Uttarakhand, Himachal in the north, Assam and Odisha in the east. Okay, Tripura and Mizoram in the northeast, and Madhya Pradesh in Maharashtra and West in West India. So in north, Himachal, Uttarakhand, in west, MP and Maharashtra, in east, Assam and Odisha, and northeast, Tripura and Mizoram. So these 8 states are very much prone to frequent forest fire annually. Okay, and incidentally, five top states: Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Himachal, Uttarakhand. Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Uttarakhand have the top 5 states reporting high number of large forest fires. First one is high number as well as large. Number is high as well as forest fire is of a large in nature, ranging between 140 to 1441 between November 21 to April 2022. So November 2021 to April 2022 in these 5 states, high number of large fire happen, and these number are vary from 143 to 441. So you can, I will show you a very beautiful picture of forest fire. See, this is a picture of forest fire. So if this fire happen, you know that burning of trees on ground, leaves are burning, trees are burning. Okay, some organic. Just a minute. Organic component in soil is burning. Okay, so this is called ground forest fire. Leaves, dry leaves, okay, other material and branches are burning. We call it as a surface fire. And when crown of a tree is burning, we call it as a crown forest fire. So in this picture, you can clearly see all these 3 phenomena are there. All these 3 phenomena are there. That means trees, branches of trees burning, top of crown is burning, as well as surface fire is happening. So this picture tells the whole story of what we are talking. Okay. So now we are going to solve one question on it. Just a minute. Consider the following statement regarding forest fire in India. So the forest fire season in India lasts between November to June. Yes, very much true. It lasts between November to June, and in March, April, May, March, April, and in May, its frequency is very much high. In India, most of the forest fire spread quickly from one top to another. No, this is a definition of crown forest fire, and it is very much rare in India. So this one is wrong. In the last 2 years, highest number of forest fire have been reported in northeastern state. No, in 5 states. Okay, in 5 states, and not in last 2 years from November 2021 to December, April 2022, 5 states are very much contribute in forest fire. These are MP, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Uttarakhand. But in last, there are other states which are very much contributing the forest fire, but in this not the north state, very few, only 2 north state. But here it is said that highest number of forest fire have been reported in northeastern India. No, top 5 this, and if we take other state into consideration, so MP, MHA, Chhattisgarh this, then Himachal, Tripura, Mizoram, as well as Assam. So these 9 states are very much related to highest forest fire. In this because the Tripura, Mizoram, and Assam come, but in this one, in top 5, no, but in top 9, these 2 states come. So we cannot claim that that highest number of forest fire happened in Northeast India. So this one is wrong. So only option 1 is correct. So just check we are on the right path or not. Yes, so we are on the right path. Option A is correct. Now we move on to our second topic called Forest Right Act. Forest Right Act. So Forest Right Act has been in existence for 15 years. For 15 years, this act is in existence. As on April 30, 2022, in 2022, on date April 30, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Remember, which ministry? Tribal Affairs Ministry had received 42,50,602 claims, individual as well as community, of which titles were distributed to 46% of the applicant. That means this much application are received by the tribal ministry. This claim is individual as well as community level, and 46% of them, for the 46% of the applicant, ministry distributed the title. Okay. Despite the ministry being the implementing agency, Ministry of Tribal Affairs is the implementing agency of the provision of the Forest Right Act. The role of Forest Department in granting title is crucial. The role of Forest Department is very much important in granting title because land claims are under its jurisdiction. That means land claims are under the jurisdiction of Forest Department. That's why this department is play a very significant role in distributing titles, in granting titles. It is the ministry who implement the provision of the act. But in terms of granting titles, Forest Department have a jurisdiction in this area. That's why it play a very significant role into it. Okay. Another point is when a forest dweller file a claim for the land title. If I am a forest dweller and I file a claim for land title, okay, that means I want this. I claim that this land is mine. If I file a claim on it, or you can say we call land as a patta. That part of land is called a patta. So if I am a forest dweller and file a claim for land title or patta, it passes through 3 levels of checks. Okay, that means this claim which I made, it passes through 3 types of check. First one is Gram Sabha level. On Gram Sabha level, people check if my claim is right or wrong and what is the other procedural other documentation there. Second one is some divisional level committee, SDLC, and third one is DLC, district level committee. So subdivisional level committee, district level committee, and Gram Sabha committee. On these 3 levels, scrutiny is going on related to my claims. Okay. So these are 4 very important points. And fifth one is a highly inclusive body called the Forest Right Committee. This is a very highly inclusive, which take decision in inclusion with other forest dwellers. So Forest Right Committee is formed by the Gram Sabha to facilitate the process. So Forest Right Committee is an inclusive body formed by the Gram Sabha, people of the village, to facilitate the process. Okay, so this one is also very much important. Forest Right Committee formed by the Gram Sabha to facilitate the process of granting land title claim to the forest dwellers. Okay. In this committee, it is very important. In this committee, 10 to 15 people. This committee compromised 10 to 15 people. 2/3 of them, in the 10 to 15 people, 2/3 of them belong to scheduled tribes, and 1/3 of them should be women. So Forest Right Committee formed by the Gram Sabha to facilitate the process in this committee. This committee comprised 10 to 15 people, in which 2/3 are belong to scheduled tribe and 1/3 is belong to the women. Okay. The FRA provide the equal right in titles issued under the Act for women. So it is also very much important. In this Forest Right Act provided equal right in title. If title is issued, women have an equal right according to the Act. Okay, that means if a title is provided under the Act, women have an equal right in granting the forest land title or patta. Okay. And they have the equitable role in every stage of decision making. Women have an equitable role at every stage of decision making. That means it is very much empowerment related to very much in sync with the empowerment of women, right? Because you have an equal title and also you have an equal role in decision making. So it empowers the women in taking charge of the, or you can say claiming the land title on their land. And they in women empowerment, we know that many problems are automatically solved if women are empowered in any area. So this is related to the forest right. You see in this picture, people sit, and here some people told them about their rights, about their claim, and teach them related to the act and also what right they, you can say, what right they have related to forest right act. So this is very much important. Now we are going to solve a question on it. Consider the following statement regarding forest right act. What we have read in the previous slide, we are going to solve one question on it. So the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Implementation, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. This one is wrong. The FRA provides equal rights in titles issued under the Act for women. Yes. Important. The Act established Forest Right Committee. Yes. Comprising members from within the village. Yeah. From the Gram Sabha. Gram Sabha established this committee, Forest Right Committee, to facilitate the implementation of the Act. Yes. To facilitate the implementation of it, Gram Sabha people made Forest Right Committee. So option 2 and 3 is correct. That means option C. Now check we are on the right path or not. Yes, so option C is correct. Now move on to the next topic called National Family Health Survey, NFHS. So the survey provides district level information. This, if you want to, you can say, if you want to know about the data on district level, that means if you want to acquire information on district level related to health of the people, this survey is very much in use. That means National Family Health Survey provides district level information related to fertility. What is the fertility rate in this district? Child mortality, contraceptive practices, child mortality in that region, practices of people in that region, contraceptive practices, reproductive and child health. What is the health of the child? What is the reproductive condition of the woman? Nutrition, as well as utilization and quality of selected health service. How people utilize the service and what is the quality of that service. That means their utilization, their quality, reproductive and child health of mother as well as health of the child, nutrition, contraceptive practices for their health, for the betterment of their health, child mortality and fertility. That means on all these parameters you gain information on district level through this survey. And over the year, its scope has been expanded, and as time passes, its scope is extended to include HIV, non-communicable disease, or we call it NCD, like tobacco and alcohol use, hypertension, and blood sugar. Because nowadays, very many people are suffering with NCD, non-communicable disease. That means they consume tobacco, drink alcohol, hypertension due to tension, sugar, and also vitamin D3. So HIV, NCD, vitamin 3 are included in this act. And earlier, fertility, child mortality, contraceptive use, reproductive child health, nutrition, and utilization of quality selected health services are come under it. And you can say access information of district level. Okay. So this is a picture. very good picture of a child holding a hand of his parents. So this on district level survey, we access the information related to reproductive and child health, okay, nutrition, contraceptive practices, child mortality, okay. And also, nutrition is there, child mortality is there, public health service, and its quality. So these types of things we access, and later on HIV, NCD, and vitamin D3 is added. So very much important for the health of the child, for the health of the mother, and for the overall development of that region. Now we want to solve the question on it. So it is currently the NFHS provide information on fertility and child mortality. Yes, here I forget about writing fertility. So it is also related to fertility and child mortality. Yes, contraceptive practices. Yes, quality of selected health services. Yes, NCD. Yes, reproductive and child health. Yes, fertility, child mortality, contraceptive quality. These all are correct. That means our option is D. Now we check we are on the right path or not. So we are on the right path. Option D is correct. Now move on to the data protection law. The Constitution of India, the constitutional principle of data protection law has been set out in Justice K.S. Puttaswamy judgment by the Supreme Court in India that reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. This statement or this point says that the constitutional provision of data protection law, in terms of data protection law, its constitutional provision has been earlier a draft is presented, but its constitutional provision of the data protection law has been set out in the Justice K.S. Puttaswamy judgment. This judgment is very much important because this judgment claims right to privacy as a fundamental right. And in the judgment of Puttaswamy, the Supreme Court of India reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. That is, in this judgment, it reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. So the constitutional principle of data protection law has been set out in Justice K.M. Puttaswamy judgment by the Supreme Court of India that reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. So in this judgment, they also claim that data protection law is very much related to right to privacy. That means my data is my data. There is none of any other related to any other person. Surveillance reform. Surveillance reform was consciously omitted by the Justice B.N. Sri Krishna Committee. That means reform related to surveillance is consciously omitted by the Justice Krishna Committee that released the first draft of Personal Data Protection Bill in 2020. In 2018, PDP bill is introduced by the Justice B.N. Krishna Committee. First draft of it is led by it, and in this reform, they consciously omitted reform of surveillance. Okay, this is when Justice B.N. Krishna Committee presented or drafted first draft related to data protection bill. It consciously omitted the surveillance reform. Okay. However, even then it is stated at that time it stated that no general law in India today authorize non-consensual access to personal data or interception of personal communication. That means today there is no general law in India which authorize you to non-consensual access your personal data. That means no one can access your data, your personal data without your consent, as well as intercept your phone or personal communication. So this is illegal. When anyone intercept your phone, it is illegal. And if anyone access your data without your consent, it is illegal. Okay. So in this picture you can clearly see data protection happen through many software. That means anyone cannot access your data without your consent. Without your consent, if anyone access your data, it is illegal. And if anyone intercept your personal communicator, it is illegal. Okay. Justice in Puttaswamy case, Supreme Court reaffirmed the right to privacy and consensual, you can say constitutional, you can say constitutional principle of data protection is set out in Puttaswamy case. And the Supreme Court reaffirmed the right to privacy in this case also. And Justice B.N. Krishna Committee in 2018 PDP Personal Data Protection Bill, when he introduced first drop of PDP, then he consciously omitted the surveillance provision in it. Okay, so remember Justice B.N. Krishna Committee, Puttaswamy case, right to privacy, Supreme Court, and without your consent, no one can access your personal data and intercept your personal communication. So now we move on to the question related to it. Consider following. Justice K.S. Puttaswamy judgment by the Supreme Court of India reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. Yes, in this case, Supreme Court reaffirmed the fundamental right to privacy. Justice B.N. Krishna Committee proposed the draft personal protection bill. Yes, he proposed the draft personal data PDP bill. Sorry, B.N. Krishna Committee proposed the draft PDP bill. So this one is correct. In India, the law authorized non-consensual access of personal data or interception of personal. No general law authorized in India. No general law authorized to access non-consensual personal data as well as intercept your personal communication. So this one is wrong. So option is 1 and 2. That means option A is correct. So we are on the right path. Now we move on to our last topic called inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is basically when prices of commodity reaches on a very high much level and many people do not afford it. And it is not good for any country. The question remains, why do policymakers prefer targeting retail inflation instead of wholesale inflation rate? Retail inflation and wholesale inflation. And the question is, why our policymakers prefer targeting this and not this? So there is a reason. Reason is, this is especially so since RBI, Reserve Bank of India, as a monetary authority, RBI as a monetary authority has a little ability to control food and fuel prices. Even though RBI is a monetary authority, it has a little control to, you can say, target or control the food and fuel prices. And fuel and food prices together account for well over 50% of the CPI, Consumer Price Index. That means RBI as a monetary authority do not control the fuel and food prices, which account for 50% of the CPI. So it is very much in the hand of policymakers that they evolve and you can say they evolve and made method through which we control the fuel and food prices, or you can say we focus on the retail inflation, controlling retail inflation rather than wholesale price. For instance, raising the repo rate. If RBI raised the repo rate that means interest rate at which RBI lend money to the banks. This is called a repo rate. So if RBI raised the repo rate, it is unlikely to contain the price of vegetable like onion and tomato, because when on a higher interest rate, if RBI provide loan to the bank, that means less money is in the hand of the people, but it is unlikely to contain the price of the vegetable because it is of a daily much use. People do not curtail this. On a may they reduce its quantity, but most of the people do not curtail it. And if unseasonal rains and supply disruptions have led to sudden spike, and what RBI do when this spike happened due to unseasonal rain as well as supply disruption? Supply disruption, people start hoarding tomatoes and onions. So this is not in the hand of the RBI. Even if RBI, you can say, increase the repo rate, it do not control the prices of tomato and onions because it is either due to monsoon or either due to the hoarding. So it is not in the hand of the RBI. That's why policymaker evolve different methods to control this. Okay. See, the kind of tomato, fruits and onion occur due to unseasonal monsoon, or you can say due to hoarding, supply disruption. So it is not in the hand of the RBI. So That's why policymaker always focus on CPI, because it is, even though the RBI is a monetary authority, but it is not in their hand to control the fuel and food prices. So now we want to solve one question. RBI has a little ability to control food and fuel prices, which together account for 50% of the consumer price index. Yes, very much true. Because if unseasonal monsoon or rain happen, or supply chain disruption happen, then there is not in the hand of the RBI to control the prices of the onions and tomatoes or fruits. Okay, raising the repo rate will certainly contain the prices of vegetable at all times. No, at some time it may, but not all time. If rains is not good, or seasonal rain monsoon, then what is RBI do here? It is in the hand of the policymaker and government to evolve different methods through which they curtail this and keep inflation in control. So one is correct, two is wrong. So option is E. Now we are going to check we are on the right path. So yes, option A is correct. So we are on the right path. So I summarize the whole topic. First one is forest fire. Second one is Forest Right Act. Then National Family Health. Okay. Forest Fire, Forest Right Act, National Family Health Survey, Data Protection Law, and fifth one is inflation. So important point related to forest fire is of three types: ground, surface, crown. Here, burning of organic material in the soil, burning of dry leaves, branches, and other material on ground, burning of top of the tree. Okay, and this is very much frequent in 9 states of India. We call it as MP, MHA, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Assam, Tripura, Mizoram, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. And top 5 states in it are Uttarakhand, MP, MHA, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. And yeah, and this one is not very much frequent in India. This one is frequent in India. And recently, this type of incident happening in Himachal Pradesh. And most forest, or you can say Forest Survey of India, Forest Survey of India claim that nearly 36% of the forest fire are most of the forest fire are man-made, and 36% of the forest of India is prone to the forest fire, frequent forest fire. Okay, so this one is the summary of it. Then Forest Right Act. In Forest Right Act, it is from 15 years. It is for 15 years. It is in, you can say, in the domain. For 15 years, it is on the ground. And in Forest Right Act, forest dwellers claim the land right over a patta. Okay, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs is a implementing agency. Forest Department play a very much significant role, because land claim of land portion is in the jurisdiction of this department. So it is an implementing agency, but jurisdiction of on land portion is in the forest, in the hand of the jurisdiction of forest department. Okay. Gram, you can say Gram Sabha made forest right committee made by the Gram Sabha to facilitate this process, or you can say granting loan or granting land right to the forest dwellers, and in this 10 to 15 members are there. 2/3 of them belong to scheduled tribes and 1/3 is or and also women is also given equal right in land grant title under the act, and in every decision making women have equal participation. Okay. Third one is National Family Health Survey. So it is give us information on district level related to fertility, child mortality, reproductive and child health, health service and its quality, as well as we call it as a contraceptive practices. Okay, and later on HIV, NCD, and vitamin D3 is added in this whole concept. Okay, fourth one is NFHS is there. Fourth one is I think understand. Yeah, I'm sorry. Data protection law. So data protection law, important point is in Putta Swamy case, Justice Putta Swamy case, Supreme Court reaffirmed the right to privacy, fundamental right to privacy as a fundamental right. First draft on data protection bill is presented by the Justice Sri Krishna Committee. Okay, and there is no general law in India which authorize access to your personal data as well as your personal communication. That means without your consent, no one access your personal data as well as your personal intercept your personal communication. So it is there is no law in India. If any people do it, it is illegal. Okay. And last one, the fifth one is inflation. Okay. So policymakers focus on controlling the CPI, not the WPI, because RBI, even though RBI is a minority authority, but it is not in the hand of RBI to control the fuel and food prices, which constitute nearly 50% of the CPI. For example, even if RBI increase the repo rate, that means the rate at which RBI lend money to the bank, then the prices of onion, tomato, and fruits are not come down because it may be due to seasonal, unseasonal rain or supply chain mismanagement, or you can call it supply chain disruption. So this is a very small video on different topics. So I hope you love this lecture and you enjoy this lecture, and from this lecture you gain a different perspective related to what is going on in our day-to-day life. So Namaskaram. Thank you.